Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Maddie Evans. We love getting to be here each and every morning for you, starting on Fridays, going till Sundays, starting at 7 a.m., where we can bring you some great community information and let you know what's happening for you to get out there and enjoy. Now we're going to chat with Katy Wang from Park City Film here in just a little bit because they've got a couple weekends left in their season before they take a small break, and we'll tell you why when we chat with her. And then, of course, we're going to introduce you to a great TV series that if you have not yet gotten into, well, then you're going to want to get into it. Now, we're going to take a look at that local weather forecast, and then we're going to take a short break, so stay tuned.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. Now, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, well then Park City Film has got you covered, and there's still some great movies to get out there and see before they take a small hiatus. And we've got Katy Wang joining me. I'm so excited because you guys have a big announcement. You're redoing something nice to the theater.
Yes, so over the past year, we've been quite busy over the past few years, raising some funds to redo our theater. So as many of you know, we're located in the historic Jim Santee Auditorium, which was originally the high school for Park City, built in 1928. And over time, we've been making some upgrades to the theater, kind of getting it into the state. We've always had state-of-the-art projection system and sound system, but the seats, to be honest, have been, a little lagging behind. So now after a long fundraising campaign and thanks to support from Utah legislature, Utah Arts and Museums, Summit County Restaurant Tax, and Park City Municipal, who's the owner of the building, we are replacing all of the seats in our theater come May 15th. So we're going to be closed for a few weeks, mid-May into the beginning of June. But when we come back on June 9th, we will have not only beautiful, newly reupholstered, freshly designed seats out of Irwin Seating out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, but also a completely different seating pattern for the theater. So now all the seats will be offset, so you'll have better sight lines to view the screen. Some of the seats will be wider. We'll have more accessibility spots, more transfer arms and spots for wheelchairs. So it's really exciting to be able to upgrade the theater in this way and kind of bring it up to the 21st century standard that everyone has grown so accustomed to in theaters for good reason, because it's honestly just more comfortable and it'll be a lot of fun to bring it to our public here in Park City.
Which these little tiny inside facelifts that you do, you don't realize make such a huge difference until they're done, and then people will start to make comments about it. But before you guys do your little facelift with the seats, you guys have some other great films taking place. So this weekend and next weekend, people can still get over and enjoy all of the wonderful things that you guys have to offer.
Absolutely. And so this weekend, we're bringing in a great film called A Good Person with Morgan Freeman and Florence Pugh, two of my favorite actors. And this is a film about addiction, tragedy, redemption. Basically, the premise is that Florence Pugh's character is involved in a tragic car accident. And as a result of the accident, she ends up spiraling down into this abyss of addiction. And as she's kind of trying to figure out how does she recover from this hugely traumatic moment in her life, this car crash, which killed two of her best friends, how does she come out on the other side of that? And so she crosses paths with Morgan Freeman, who plays the father of her ex-fiance, and he is a recovering addict himself. And kind of the two of them and their storylines, with their kind of the pain that they share, they're able to help each other find the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's really a film about lives that have been frozen by tragedy, but how that unfreezing happens. And it's just beautifully done. The two actors are incredible as always. And together they just form such a perfect union in terms of how they play off each other to really make these characters come to life. There's just such a depth of honesty and truth in what they bring to these characters that it just kind of sucks you into that story.
Well, and they do such a good job when they are on stage at any point or on camera at any point, making you fall in love with the characters. Like you relate to them so much, and that's what having a good actor in your film is about, and they both are incredible. Florence Pugh has managed to get some pretty heavy-hitting roles over the course of the last few years, and she has handled it with such grace. And then Morgan Freeman is such a household name. Everyone knows who he is because you love him from all of his different roles that he's played. And to have them come together in this way that is really going to pull on your heartstrings and a lot of people are going to be able to relate to, I think is going to be amazing.
Absolutely. And what's interesting about Morgan Freeman's character is, he's, some of his roles over the past, in recent history have been kind of the gentle, kind-hearted, grandfather type character. And he certainly plays a grandfather in this film, but also with a deep level of pain, that he's a more prickly, more complex character that I think we've seen in the recent past, which makes him that much more interesting. And as you said, Florence Pugh always delivers such an exceptional performance. I mean, for someone that is so young in her career, she's just has this ability to really bring these characters to life and help us connect to these stories. We've all had, peaks and valleys in our own lives, and how she can make this story come to life in a way that we can relate to and share her pain, but also share and celebrate her successes along the way is just really a talent that is remarkable. And she's certainly an actor for us to keep our eyes on as her career develops, because she's always been exceptional, and I'm sure she will just grow in her kind of prowess as she advances in her career.
Now, as you guys are bringing this film in for the weekend, people can come, they can enjoy it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but what inspired you guys to bring this film in?
In part it's because of the actors. As we're looking at the films that are coming to us or made available to us throughout the course of our season, we look at what is the story that's being told. It is Mental Health Awareness Month in May, so certainly looking at a film through the lens of addiction and recovery, and just kind of how that support network is so important in a community for to help those members of our community who might be suffering or might need more assistance. We all need help at certain times, and it really behooves us as a community to pay attention to that and kind of keep an eye out for each other. So certainly as we look at May, we try to bring in films each year that kind of follow along those themes of mental health awareness and support, and then also just looking at the actors who are in the production, and how do they tell the story, right? The story of addiction and recovery is not a new story, certainly for cinema, but how the story is told. Is it telling the story in a different way? Are the actors giving us something new that maybe we haven't seen before, haven't experienced before? And that's certainly true for this film. But there are all these different factors that we think about as we consider what films to bring in to our community and what's really going to resonate with folks. If you see the trailer, and immediately just captures you, and you just, you want to see what happens next. Like, where does the story go? How can I follow along on their journey? And so looking at that as well, that it's such a compelling story that we are excited to bring it in this weekend.
I'm excited to hear the feedback, only because you guys do such a good job of bringing in films that start conversations, and people come in as maybe individuals going to the movies to enjoy this cinematic presentation of just excellence each and every weekend, because you guys do such a good job at sourcing your films. But then there are these cool conversations that are built off around it from people who don't know each other, and that's one of the coolest parts about Park City Film, is you give people that opportunity after the film to kind of mingle and start these conversations and make new friends and relate to other people. And because it is Mental Health Awareness Month and this is such a heavy-hitting film, I feel like there's going to be some newfound friendships so that people can find that support within the community.
Absolutely. And just creates that space to have those conversations, right? I mean, sometimes the films that we bring to the screen, this one in particular this weekend, these are not conversations that come up lightly, generally, in a conversation with people that you don't know well. But to be able to create that space, to be able to have that opportunity to reach out to your neighbor and see what did they get from the film? What are the conversations? How does it relate to their life? And you'd be amazed at some of these conversations, how deep they are with people that you maybe have just met. Or maybe it's someone that you've known for a long time, but you've never had this point of connection. Or how are you relating to this story? How is it somehow maybe personal to you, or something that you want to know more about, or something you want to get more involved with? I mean, there's all these different layers to it. But absolutely, it's about creating that spark and that space for the conversation, for that connection to other members in our community.
Which is one of the best parts about Park City Film is you guys bringing everyone together. Now, let's talk about how you guys have really brought people together through the restaurants throughout the past couple of weeks, only because I think it's such a unique and special story to our community.
Yes, and so the promotion is still going on through the end of June, but we've partnered with local restaurants and Park City Lodging. This is thanks to support from Summit County Restaurant Tax and the Park City Chamber. And it's really the idea is to create an incentive for people to get out into our local businesses during the off season. I mean, here in Park City, it's no surprise that as soon as the resorts close, the crowds abate and it's kind of nice and quiet on the roads again, which is great. But businesses still need customers, waiters and waitresses still need to make tips. And so we want to make sure that people are going out into our local restaurants, supporting our local businesses, and then making a night of it. Let's make it fun. So we have a dinner and a movie program. We have about 10 different restaurants that we're partnering with right now. We try to change up our partnerships throughout the season so that we're hitting different parts of town, Kimball Junction, downtown Park City, out towards Deer Valley. If you spend $50 or more, then you'll get 2 free tickets plus free popcorn. So there's your incentive. There's your dinner that evening to come to Park City Film. And the coupons are good for the rest of 2023. So if you're not available to come see a good person this weekend or, this spring to come see a movie with us, but you're going to be back in the fall, hold on to your coupon. You can definitely use it then. We'd love to have you come back. But, it's have a fun night out on the town, support our local restaurants, check out Park City Lodging. They've got an incentive where you can get a 15% discount off of any of their properties if you book your property before the end of June, and then again, get free tickets to come back to Park City Film. So it's really up to you how you want to combine it, do it at the same time, do it at a different time of the year. But just a fun way to get people out and about into town, spending some money in our local businesses and just enjoying themselves.
Which I think is so cool, and it's so cool that you guys are running this through the end of June, but this is 2 date nights. So if you're looking for a great date night idea, you can go to dinner one night and you can go to the movies the next night, which is so cool that everyone can just enjoy these little perks of our community. And so many people don't understand that we do have all of these perks throughout our community, and you guys do such a good job at bringing it to light and just getting the community, like you said, out of the house.
Absolutely. And it's just a fun way to get around town. And we really appreciate our restaurant partners because they're still open during the off season, which is great. A lot of restaurants are closed. So it's nice to know that you can still get out and about out on the town, even during the shoulder seasons.
And enjoy delicious food. Park City has some of the best food, I think, throughout our community because we have some hidden gems tucked in and around for people to really enjoy. And I know that you guys partner with some of those hidden gems. Now, as we've been talking, we've been thanking a lot of people for the new remodel that you guys are about to see. And so let's talk a little bit about how people can get involved with you guys, either as a member or as a volunteer or as an underwriter of some films.
Sure. So the underwriter for the film this weekend is Julie Hopkins, Keller Williams Real Estate. She's a great supporter of the arts in our community, which of course we appreciate, and has been underwriting films with us for a very long time, which is just amazing. And we very much appreciate her generosity and support. So if you are interested in becoming an underwriter for a weekend film, we have everything from someone like Julie Hopkins, who, as I said, is a real estate agent in town. We have local businesses, whether it's restaurants or just retail shops on Main Street. And then also just individuals, people that just love independent cinema and want to make sure that we get these great films into our community and have a space for people to have these conversations. So you can always reach out to me at director@parkcityfilm.org if you're interested in underwriting a particular film, or if you have a film that you'd like us to bring to the screen. I just got contacted by a woman who is a scientist, and she has this great new film, or there is a great new film that's coming out that's all about scientific exploration. And she's like, oh, if you bring this film in, I would love to talk about what I've done in my career and how it relates to this film. So, we really just appreciate hearing from our community members. What lights the spark for them? What are the stories that they're interested in having told? And how can we connect with them and bring these stories back to our community, whether it's as a speaker or as a sponsor or just as a patron of the arts? We'd love to hear from you. You can also go to our sponsor tab or our membership tab on our website if you are just interested in becoming a member, which is, of course, greatly appreciated. Those dollars help us throughout the year to do special events, to bring in special speakers and special films. And then, of course, volunteering. There's a volunteer tab, and it has our calendar of events. And if you just have a couple of hours and want to learn how to make some of the best popcorn in Park City, I dare say, it is a skill that will be highly valued on your resume as you go forward in life. We'd love to have you participate in that way as well. So there's all different tiers depending on your interests, your ability, and just kind of where you are in life. We'd love to have you be part of our community because that's really what it's all about.
And sometimes time is worth more than money. Now, I am still hung up on this scientist that wants to come in and talk, only because when you guys do these speaker series, you do such a good job of bringing in the films, but then allowing these incredible Q&As after where people can let their curiosity blossom throughout the film and then have all of these questions answered, which is such a unique experience.
Absolutely. And what's been amazing to me over time is that there's so many incredibly talented people that live here in Park City. So many of them are retired, some of them are still kind of in the throes of their career, but they're so generous with their time and just reaching out to us on any different, on so many different topics. We had an astronaut come down from Salt Lake to talk about his career. He's been to space 10 times when we did Apollo 11. And he came on Easter evening. Just he wanted to connect with the film, connect to our community, talk to our young people in our community who are interested in science or space exploration, and just create that spark for them. And what a treasure for us to be able to spend time with this individual. This was Charlie Precourt, was the astronaut. But there's so many individuals in our community. I can't even tell you how many times we've brought in a film and thought, oh, it'd be so good to just get deeper into this topic. And lo and behold, there's someone that just presents themselves of, oh, I've been to Antarctica. I spent 2 seasons there. I'd love to talk about Antarctica. And you're like, well, I mean, how many people have been to Antarctica? Probably not that many, but they happen to live here in Park City and are willing to bring their expertise and their experience to our community for one night after we do a film screening. So we're just really blessed to have so many incredibly talented, adventurous, and very generous at the end of the day individuals who are willing to share their time with us.
I love all of this, and I love the work that you guys do to bring our community together and to highlight these incredible community members. Antarctica sounds really cool, but really cold. And so 2 seasons there, that's a lot of time. And to hear stories like this and have astronauts and have these people that do get to spark this curiosity and maybe this hidden passion within others is so wonderful. And that's why we love what you guys do here in the community so much, because you do help people highlight the things that they know and the things that they love, or the things that maybe they just started to dabble in, and then you inspire them to push forward and live their dreams, all here at Park City Film.
Well, we do try, so it's really fun. And for us, it's more fun with an audience, right? And for what we do, we can't do everything that we do without the support we receive from the community, which also means people coming out to see the films. If we show a film to an audience of 1, that's not very much fun. But to be able to bring your friends and family members, there's so many new members in the community. If you have a new neighbor, invite them to come over to have some fresh buttered popcorn and win some cookies in the raffle and see a great film with you and connect with them in a different way. But we kind of like to say that we're Cheers without the beer. It's a place where everybody knows your name and we're always happy to have you there. But it's a way to connect with people in a different way and really become part of the fabric of the Park City community.
You always have these great quotes about what Park City Film is and how you guys represent in the community, which I love to see. And then, of course, you guys have the best popcorn bar ever.
Yes, you got to bring your own bowls. So you can have it appropriately sized for your appetite bowls. You can put on your different toppings, milk duds, raisinets, butter, whatever it is, we don't judge. It's all fun just to see what people have and kind of what they're interested in at the popcorn bar. Because, we say people come for the popcorn and they stay for the movie.
100%. BYOB, bring your own bowl. Now, if people are interested in seeing the film this weekend, what are the show times?
So it's Friday and Saturday at 7, and then again Sunday at 6. You can go to parkcityfilm.org to buy your tickets online in advance, but we also sell our tickets at the box office starting an hour before the show time. So we've got plenty of room. We've got a 450-seat theater. So if you have a change of plans or just spontaneously decide to grab your friends and neighbors and come on over to see the film, we'd be happy to have you. So do not be shy. Head on over to the Jim Santee Auditorium on Park Ave and come see a great movie with us this weekend.
Katy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thank you for the curiosity and the inspiration you give the community. It's well received and it's amazing to see.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure that you check out Park City Film. You can see what upcoming films they have by going to parkcityfilm.org, and you can buy your tickets in advance to spend some wonderful time at this wonderful nonprofit that we have here in our community. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. The Tower is back for season 2, and we've got Jimmy and Tahira joining me to talk all things the upcoming season. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
I just heard about the tower and I was going through season 1 and it is action packed. There's drama, there's suspense, there is so much happening. And so what's it like working on the set of the tower?
It's so exciting. Like you say, there's so much going on. It's fantastic to, tell these great, bold stories across like 3 or 4 episodes as well. But also, I think you look at a show like this, and I look at my castmates like Tahira, Gemma Whelan, Emmett, and it's just a joy to work with fantastic actors alongside a fantastic writer showrunner, Patrick Harbinson, that wrote Homeland.
Which I think is so cool, and I'm such a large lover of kind of psychological thriller books, and so this entire series is based off of a book, and you feel that emotional draw just from watching the trailer for the new season to each and every character and kind of the plot twists that go along the way. So what's it like working on the set with all of these incredible people?
As Jimmy said, it's actually such a treat. I think fantastic writing and fantastic source material and amazing actors and crew just make your job as an actor so much easier. And especially on a shoot like this, where we are dealing with some really, deeply kind of disturbing situations and themes, it's so wonderful to be able to then have moments of levity in between filming with your castmates and with the crew, so that you're not going home, haunted by what you've had to portray earlier that day.
That was my next question, because you guys both participated in season 1, and the messages that are displayed and the things that you guys are dealing with in the show itself are really heavy, and it's kind of crazy to see these messages and how you guys come out of them in your characters. And so my next question was going to be, how do you disassociate from the heaviness of your characters back to your day-to-day life?
You know what? Between Emmett, Gemma, even Tara, like we are all like fun people, we have a lot of fun off camera. And especially Emmett, Gemma does a lot of comedy as well. And so that gives us a sense of balance. And so we can have fun, make jokes with each other. And then in the next minute, we're switched on and we are really in this, deep, dark scene where we are looking at a dead body or something like that. And I think it's not to say that that's what happens with real police officers, but when I did do my research and I spoke to real police officers, they did talk about it was really important for their colleagues and them to have a sense of a rapport and have a sense of humor, because the job is so heavy. So I think we naturally have that balance on the show as actors.
Which I think is incredible and something that you guys all need for your mental health. Now, if you each had to describe the show in 3 words for the new season, what 3 words would you choose?
I would describe it as dark, tense, and suspenseful.
I would say fantastic, dangerous, and unique.
I love all of that. Now I feel like I'm going to get very hooked in to The Tower as an entire series, because I have to catch up on season 1. Now, if people are interested in watching the show, where can they find it?
BritBox, on any device that you have, you can find season 1, and then season 2 is coming out on Tuesday, May 16th.
I want to thank you guys both so much for taking the time to chat with us, and thanks for your incredible work. You guys do a fantastic job of portraying your characters, and immediately I fell in love with both of the roles that you guys play.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure that you check out The Tower. If you've not seen season 1, then you're not going to want to miss it, because season 2 is coming out and it's going to be better than ever. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
This This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here for you every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starting at 7 a.m. That way we can bring you such great information about what's taking place in our community. Now make sure that you go to parkcityfilm.org, and that way you can get tickets to this weekend's incredible movie. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you there.